welcome to Liz at Home. I'm going to be doing a review of these Zenacolor pencils that I showed on my Amazon unboxing the other day. So without further ado, let's go to our downward view. So here we are with the pencils. As you can see, it comes in a beautiful tin. It's got some lovely artwork on the front and the name, the Zenacolor, and the 120 pencils. The tin is nice and sturdy, and when you open it, you have the color names and some information and their website, and they give you an access code there. And what that means is, with some of the information that comes along, you can subscribe to get a weekly coloring page. They tend to be these kinds of pictures, which are not really my style, but they're for free. And if you have not done much coloring before and you don't want to spend money, that's really a nice gift. And then I also received this congratulations, you're a winner, with a code to get a set of 36 gel pens, which I thought was pretty awesome, except, and this is great if you live in the United States or in Europe or in England or France, well, I suppose that's Europe, but living in South Africa, I don't think it applies to us because our country isn't, you have to register, and South Africa is not one of the countries in the drop-down menu. And then I did write to them to ask about it, and they never replied to that letter. So that's the one thing that's disappointed me slightly. The other thing that comes with these pencils is a very nice color chart, which I've filled in. I like it when they send a color chart because it's all written already. If you saw my unboxing video, you would have seen that they had fallen apart a little bit, and I mentioned that in the beginning. But this one pencil, this blue number 112, is the one that was damaged. So I wanted to show you. It's quite badly damaged. Never quite sure which side the camera will pick up. But other than that, we will see as we sharpen how they go. But they're a lovely, beautiful looking set of pencils with 3 trays. The trays are in these plastic trays. They're not terribly floppy. They're okay. So look at all those beautiful colors. So a little bit more about the pencils themselves. They are, what did I write here? I wrote the barrel is a 3.3 millimeter barrel, and the lead is fairly central to the barrel. Some of them are a bit off center, so again we'll see that usually presents sharpening problems, but for the price that's fine. They've got silver writing on, quite big, with both a name and a number, which is awesome for you to keep track of what you're doing if you want to, or if you want to follow a color along that somebody else has done. Now, a little bit about Zenacolor. The company is led by 2 brothers, Max and Ben, and they're situated in France, and they're also a little bit like Arteza, sell other products. They sell gel pens, they sell fine liners, they sell some art journaling books and that kind of thing. So it's worth looking up their office. It's an online retailer. These sets of pencils come in sets of 70, 72, 120 and 160, both in tins like this and in plastic. The cost for this tin was on Amazon, $17. No, sorry, hang on. Where did I write the cost? The set was $34.97 for the set in the tin, which equates in South African rand to 519 rand 92, which for 120 pencils I think is really inexpensive. Then the shipping costs to South Africa, and I'm sorry if you don't live in South Africa, but very few of the YouTube channels actually mention shipping to South Africa. So for my South African followers, I know that you're interested in this. The shipping is $17.66, which is 260 rand 56, and the import fees were $11.88, 175 rand 27. That was through Amazon. So then they came to my door. Okay, so I've given you the core size, which is 3.3 millimeters thick, and they're oil-based pencils, which is interesting to note. The color doesn't always match the color that you see on the side of the pencil. So for instance, 076, called Peach Puff, this is the color that comes out, and it doesn't really look like the color here. 077 as well, Apricot doesn't, well, it's not too far off, not too bad. And another one that I did just that, this sort of, if you look at that, it kind of makes you think very pale sage green, but it's actually kind of like a lime green, as you can see there. So it is necessary to swatch them. So now I'm going to carry on a little bit more and try and do some tests. I've done a color wheel with them, and also just quickly I started coloring in Daydreams in Dagdrama with them. And I think the color's nice and vibrant. They feel nice to color with, and they blended quite nicely there. They're soft, but they're not scratchy, they're nice, but they're kind of dry, comes to my mind. I don't know why, but that's what I thought when I was coloring. So I'm going to now blend a yellow, an orange, and a red. Yellow, orange, and red. Where's a nice red? Let me find a nice red. 071. That's another one that doesn't really, this looks like a purple, but it's actually a nice red. So I'm going to hope that I'm on camera here. Yes. And I'm going to bring this a little bit closer so that you can see what I'm doing. Oopsie. And I'm going to go from yellow colouring this. See, the colour lays down nicely, but then I do love this paper. Yellow, but lightly there, heavier here, orange. So really, in South African terms, you can get this whole tin of 1,000 pencils delivered to your door for, of 120 pencils delivered to your door for just under $1,000, including everything, which in my book is pretty darn fantastic. And then red. Let me color that. Go over a bit to the orange, going back there. lightly. I always want to get a song going. I feel like bursting into a musical song as I say lightly. Ah, I think that's an awesome blend. So there we are. I would normally go over the whole lot. I love yellow. It kind of, to me, just brightens everything up. I really like that. So there we have those three. Then we're going to try blending with odorless mineral spirits. So now I'm moving from blue to yellow, and I'm going to blend that with odorless mineral spirits. I've got a bit of Gamsol here. That was very kindly given to me by Bernie Miller, a colouring friend. I'm going to go a little bit more over there. I always want to try and blend it without the Gamsol as well. But I should leave it a bit rough. Sure, I'm going out of the lines. So I have a little bit of Gamsol in a teensy little dropper bottle, and I'm going to just put a drop in the saucer. There we go, and close it up again. I bought these cute dropper bottles from Amazon, and I'm going to use a blending stump, or whatever you call these things. So always go from the light to the dark. Pretty seamless blend to me. I quite like using Gamsol. Because it just melts all of that pigment into the page, but it does also, look at that, cause it to bleed a little bit. I've got quite a lot on this blending stump, so that's something I should take note of. Now, if this was a coloring page for me, what I would do would be to go over it again to brighten it up. I'd probably leave it to dry a bit, but I quite like going on it while the Gamsol's a little bit in the paper, because then the pencils just sort of melt into where you want them to go. There we are. So that is blending with odorless mineral spirits. Then I'm going to go from red to blue with a white pencil blending. So let me try and get in the lines this time. So if you're interested in this coloring color pencil test sheet, if you visit Steve and Jennifer Stay's Coloring Bliss Facebook page or website or blog or YouTube group, they give you options to become a member in some way that you pay a certain amount, different amounts depending on which benefits you get, and getting these pages like this and various other perks come along with that. Something I would recommend if you're interested. They run a fabulous YouTube channel as well. I'll put a link to one of their recent videos on this if you'd like to see it. Oops. There we go. over we've gone. Be interesting to see if we get a kind of a purple or not. I've been eating almonds, trying to be healthier and eating healthier foods, snacking on healthier foods. So let me try the white pencil from the Zenacolor. It's not as soft as a Prismacolor, but it actually does the job. Look at that. I'm using quite a heavy pressure here. So the pencils have a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, like that dusting when you, a lot of color pencils, Prismacolors do it a lot as well, as you color, that sort of dustiness that comes off. I always have my little old makeup brush to get rid of that. It's not bad. I think this pencil needs to be cleaned off to continue. It does a reasonable job of blending with the white pencil. I mean, those colors are quite far apart, so if you look at that red and blue, they're sort of quite far apart, so they should make a purple, but in a way it's, I maybe didn't choose pure colors. And then yellow to red again, trying with a colorless blender pencil. My favorite blender pencil is actually the Derwent one. This tin does not come with a colorless blender. Somebody once told me when you want to color lightly to color using the back of the pencil, and I really do find that was a very helpful piece of advice. I'm really liking these pencils. I think they might become one of my new favorites. I want to do a color comparison of them and Arteza one of these days. I'm busy. There's no Lightfast information about these pencils, and I'm busy doing my own Lightfast test, but it will only be available in a month, as I want to wait a month with the colors in the sun. I can already see that they're not Lightfast though. Okay, so there we've gone over, and here's my colorless blender starting at the light side. It's always to me quite magical the way it works when it goes into the tooth of the paper. One has to take care with colorless blenders that you don't push the pigment right out of the lines if you're in a picture. I think that's quite good. This is now also dirty. Clean it off quickly. Okay, some nice blends there. Now, I want to see, let's do an erasing test and see how they sharpen, shall we? There's nothing wrong with this pencil. It's not one that looks, but it does have an off-center core. So let's, I'm not doing the colors they tell you. But I'm going to color a whole lot to see the core usage, and they are not, they don't go down, they don't get used up all that quickly. I think they're closer to me, and I don't know if that's because they're oil-based. They're closer to me to Polychromos pencils in how much color gets used as you color a piece. Then Prismacolor would be nearly flat. I'm going really heavily now. And that core is not really being used very much. Now let's try sharpening it. I have quite a good sharpener here. It's an M&R made in Germany. So holding the core still and sharpening. Sharpened well, didn't break. So time will tell. I'm going to sharpen a few of them and we can see. I'm too scared to sharpen the damaged pencil because I still want to use it while I can. They did give me the refund, but it'll take a while for the replacements to arrive. They're all sharpening well. I am impressed. I wonder what their other products are like. I feel now like trying some of their other products. I wonder if they have any watercolors. That is my go-to thing. Okay, that's crumbling a little bit. There we are. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I would highly recommend these pencils. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.